That really legal stuff. Yeah, I have your house here.
Welcome you to the full council of COM on Tuesday the 18th of August at 6:30 PM. So welcome to everybody. Have we got any registered?
Yes. Councillor Dorothy Broad and Councillor Sarah Colin Price on the welcome to the
Is there any more apologies?
Yes,
Right, come on.
And the other one.
More apologies. Like a declaration of interest, receive any declarations of interest from members related to any item. Accordance with provisions of public conduct and the indicated in section 106, London Finance Site, 1992. Okay. Item 4, minutes to approve the correct record of the minutes of the meeting held on Tuesday, 21st of July 2026. Second, second. Have any questions on this? All in favour? Okay. So it's up. Item number 5, clerk's updates.
right. Update on the main thing is obviously the asset transfers and currently the latest information to the sector solicitors so they can report this in yes.
We'll go to item 6, public forum. To consider questions, statements, or petitions from members of the public who are welcome to the meeting and have a total collectively of 15 minutes to make representations to the council. No? Okay, moving on to item 7, reports from the borough and county councils. I believe you've all received them. No report, okay. Did the county council actually receive an invitation?
Do I think I've only ever had
I didn't get it in subject. Apparently, they're sending everything to Lancashire.gov.uk.
let it just go to
I'm in the council, borough council. I can do. It said that the standard has been laid up. It has not yet been laid up because the branch is still open, although it is due to be closed sometime this year. And then when the branch does go defunct, then the standard will be laid up. So if that could be amended in the borough council. It's just what's been altered. Yeah. It's not one. Okay, well, it's just for our benefit here in the council. I think I know the guys themselves would just say that a grant has been awarded due to, but obviously the clarification is for us now saying it's due to be laid up, but hasn't happened just yet. No. Okay, guys. Any other questions?
Just have a quick talk through.
Yeah.
What's your number 2? Peace. Still waiting to hear back from Simon. This is this idea that talking to David, Margaret Keith and extension, and he basically said, "This is what we can do." So he outlined what we can do. to show the sorts of results they got from going to strategic places. And obviously they use those skids. So the ones that Cone Area bought, the town council in Garth, they're now gathering all this data. And I think they've all been a bit frustrated. The police have really capitalised on it as much as they should have done. So obviously this is a way to basically it part funds over time. They chip in, we chip in, and we can then say, go to Keithley Road at 11 o'clock on Friday night, go to Shore Street at 10 o'clock on Tuesday night, or whatever, and we can focus it on the data. So it's there to get some results. Instead of the 10 should be split into 2 batches of 5, so you just have a trial and see what results you get. So it's a step forward, hopefully, in terms of targeting and particular speed and social growth. I think the Keithley lot found a whole load of other offences as well, mobile phone use, no seatbelts, all those kind of things. Which, I think 1 or 2 of them actually led to seizures of vehicles as well, for lack of insurance. So some good stuff. In terms of other bits and bobs, conservation areas, the 3 and 4, Keithley Road and Carry Lanes obviously made, just crossing the I's and crossing the T's with paperwork on that one. We're hoping to see the drafts of the new edition of that Road one. And then we'll also move on to Crimmett and Greenfield Road after that. In terms of planning, see after the Marks and Spencer's food retail unit came to an area. Representative from Marks and Spencer was obviously concerned about we said that we wanted to allocate some money. They were having a separate meeting with Tim Alford about what can be done. Still moved to hear back. The M&S one. Do you want 3 industrial units or do you want the going bid manager confirmed that we've not really had any impact. Fair enough. Yeah. We're not quite sure. Last LCC to see if it had been removed. Just waiting to hear back.
It's not.
Right, right. What do we have? Number 17, Sarah's now had 3 meetings with Jeff Friendly, so doing an excellent brain dump, and I think we're up to, I think it's more than 130 now, I think 350 it's up to now, in terms of the naming and the mysteries of parent streets. All that we need to do really is to get the plan in place, moving, get that on, optimizing. Long. So the consultation finished, but we had this thing about the gunning principles. There was a legal case back in 2012, where basically you had to have intelligent consideration of all the evidence. And obviously the argument by the Code and Land was that you never told us that you have 30,000 lorries running through our town and village. And we should have known that right from the word go. You should have known where your material was coming from, and therefore you've done the whole thing badly. But one of the consultation pointing out all those factors. The gunning principle is approach it from the legal angle. And basically, what the town council does, Regina signs it, or Joe signs it, essentially goes in there saying you have a month section of essentially, it's basically you'll start all over again. At the same time, the letters are being sent to the Saudi backers. That money is well spent. In the results of the consultation and the results of this gunning letter, then are they really wasting their money? So people, if they realise. So that's that on that. And the final one is 21. I'll tell you about that one. So obviously we've seen some work for the bus station and how we're looking for a two-way thing to take place at the start of early September. See how people
Just got two questions for you, Councillor.
Yeah.
Item 12, the conversation of the greener, cleaner, healthy streets.
Yes.
Now, I was involved with Queen Streets last summer. Test. Probably that's 18. So I should think that's why it's just long. Since then, well, actually, that wasn't aware of what's happening with the street. It's once the council said, sorry, once the library and saying this is something what's level. It would have been nice to have feedback because what the residents were complaining over a year ago now.
It's amazing, isn't it? I think I saw them, I said that they've got some dive and parking spots in a different way. Yeah, I had to back up and say, I asked you some research and say, and it was a temporary thing. Well,
it's temporary, let people know.
Exactly, yeah. It's only been on the wrong road. So yes, it's not been very good. Not from themselves in glory. If you've got a route to marry, then do so.
It's a new experience and focus. I think on black and white, and they are a man in that's it. Councillor,
Just 19. Have we got any update on the feeding of the kids? Because that's what that is better in the previous council and go down this one.
The library. There's no easy answer. I think we've also warned the tax.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a bit of human behaviour, which means polite thing. That's
It is an ongoing problem.
just before I bring Councillor, I just want to go to 18, the one about Golden Mill.
Yep.
Have you heard anything back from them yet in regards to the next meeting?
No.
I was going to say, I've not heard it. I know last week they'll be by us and to supply the agenda. I at least we go.
Read it. Questions. Thoughts.
So I just wondering if you
I think all this stuff is the but how is this speaking we do now? I think that would be this
I started asking that, I say I can check that.
nothing's gone through yet, and it's due to be up, so. Legal, next, Ian, you wanted to bring up?
Chair, on the interim, two distinct groups of people. Maybe the past is more like you might have been a great deal of trust after. I go to end stop. Then the hospital. Probably, well, that is a cultural thing. It's caring about other creatures. So you want, now in this case, would it be possible to have a word with the hospital? That's them to try and the wrong, they wrong again. And to understand, to get to understand, they have to be fully aware of why they do. Fortunately, within this country, it's not acceptable. But not really.
Then, Councillor, that assumptions of somebody's death is actually wrong. The reason being is we don't know who, but I think what we're doing is fix.
The only area, we had problems down Bidgley Street, the same issue. And it's every deputy thing. Ask Nicky Nelson.
I think with that, especially.
It's
No,
not.
I'm just saying this in the chamber, I think it's just a case of we need to educate.
And that's why I said earlier on about education, not just on.
Let's go around the what's that? What's a great town? Okay. Got any other questions on points? No. Okay, so we can move on to now on item 8, finances. Section A and B to section 8 to receive scheduled payments from the 15th July to the August. And also section B to receive a summary of budget expenditure commitments as on the 31st of July.
Then I'll move all together.
Okay, question.
Yeah.
Just one on 8A. I'm hoping, given that it's so sweltering, that item 4 on the big long list are not late for July and August, especially our new one.
No, I would say it's a lot.
That short sleeve t-shirt, isn't it?
Well, to be honest, obviously, we have. Wow.
Sarah, what's your name, right?
We probably did have it on this. Not see. I think. Dogs that are bigger, basically, so some of the offices is the bar area.
Okay.
But obviously when we have Santander and they don't open, then it's a lot cooler in there, but then it's still really warm in the offices, so I think we
How do you working smarter? On the budget summary, so we're 4 months through the year, that's 33% of the year. Obviously, it's good that we're spending money on things like park and space. Administration.
Okay.
Events. They preload resources.
See that you're on.
Don't want to spending on bus shelters.
There have been some, a lot of.
So the question the
I'll let Nathan take it on.
So number 2 is 98% of the way that so hospital is in the middle is the electrical test will be tomorrow. And just looking at what sort of frankly yes, we've got quite a few people. Imagine.
everybody in our reserve. Then what's on ground?
Oh, yeah,
Also figured out how to build boxes to bottom work.
right,
I
okay.
figured it out. That's a good fresh pair of eyes for myself. So we're spending the new budget of 1661, the income 1609. You can see those in the table above the current budget.
Yes,
But that means that 51,750 overspent.
yes, but it's not actually an overspend, it's what we carry forward.
Right. Okay. So budget overspend 24.
Yeah.
That is,
Well, the no excess budget carried forward, that's basically. So we carried all that forward. If we do take anything from earmark reserves or anything like that, that will appear in the overspent budget, which is the one underneath.
Yeah.
So, shortly we will be taking 30,000 out for the Alton Coast wall. So that will appear there.
Okay.
And then the reserve carry forward is just what we've got left.
yes, and then the 559 at the bottom, basically 302 in the middle, plus the 2 price.
Yeah.
And so all that. What goes around? Yeah, otherwise, yeah, I'm happy to support motion that was seconded.
Any other questions?
Yeah, but it isn't a question, but can I just point something out, because it does relate to something that Dave mentioned. He mentioned number 2 Alton Road. Obviously, when we get there, we will obviously have an increase rent. So actually showing it. And we have a responsibility, so there's a good around there as well.
Yeah.
So any other? No, so we've not proposed by Councillor Davies, any second please?
I've got proposals to return.
Oh, sorry.
Um,
I do apologise, so, all in favour? Yep. Item 9, small grants awarded, August 2026. To receive a report from the Town Clerk giving details of the grant awarded to last FES TV.
Yeah, so this is just confirmation of the grant that was awarded at the last FPS meeting. Obviously, it was stated in the Borough Council report that they're going to come area for the
To item 10, Colleen Blue, to receive an update from the Chairman Colleen Blue on the work that the charity has been. Alice?
Busy as always. Some children of the people who are last year when I think it was for so we just unfortunately, we were not able to get rid of that whole barrier last year. One end of town, okay.
We still need some notice.
We always need
While we're live, we can ask people watching this, got some spare time to come out and have some fun in the town.
and look all about every Tuesday, around about 10:30. But it's every day. We've just received our new shed container down at Commit. Really wonderful. So we just get swept it out and we're about to, I think we
Quite a lot. I've noticed that, when I've reported on Clean Streets, as you can see, various streets around the town which are overgrown with weeds, that's residential. I actually put on search and maybe as well, so listen, I have to put it in out. Councillor McCollum did get back to me, quite routy code, where it's saying it's actually Pendle Borough that's supposed to do it, the LCC are responsible. Open. Thank you very much, Councillor. Nothing else to it. Okay. On to item 11, which is Treasurer Tarrant to receive an update on the current session held by the Treasurer Arts Group.
yeah, unfortunately, I was away, so I couldn't give an update on it. But obviously we have the posted. Yeah, but it looks like we have a few more people there.
So, absolutely, everybody's watching. Good job. We started last time. on North Valley. That's what I'm saying, and that's what I think myself, Councillor Sarah, Councillor Ashton stood there, giving, where is everybody? We got told to be cancelled.
Ian, I don't know if you want to say anything about it, obviously you.
Yeah, it was a really good turnout, all the people, and they shipped a lot of them. Very well, and identified quite a few problems, but also discovered a very hidden area as well. After it's like going into Darwin, you're walking down the street and you turn around to what seems like a bush, and suddenly in this weird area that seems to be totally detached from the real world. And then there's quite a lot of young people for various activities. But I say this is really quite, you sitting there, you can do what you want, and nobody walking literally 4 foot away from you, by you, will know you're there.
I think we shouldn't be telling people. What's been happening on Greenfield Road?
Yeah, I'm not telling people where your kids, but it's a brown envelope for the blood companies.
I don't want to separate envelopes.
Oh,
We won't get it down there. Keep an eye on the next. You do your voting there. Right, just for we finish on the next session on the 26th of August at 5:30 to 6:30. That will be Shore Street, Bridge Street. Anything else there? Help. Be there. Moving on to item 12, the Great British Rhythm and Blues Festival 2026, to see an update and progression of the organisation and operational elements of the 2026 festival.
So, everything's in place for, Boys Festival, next weekend. The reception is now the box office, so we're getting rid of the collection, merchandise sales and all that fun stuff. Next week we'll get a lot of arcade, at the moment, we shall have 5 tickets. Pictures. Sales on the next. So we can sell. We do have a couple of spots left for volunteers if anyone is interested in volunteering on the weekend, please. We don't know. We get volunteers in all areas. That's pretty much it. Any questions?
To anybody watching this at home, please go and see Nathan downstairs. We will quite happily take you to volunteer as well. Okay, moving on to item 13, which is the Colne Neighbourhood Plan. To receive an update from the chairman of the Neighbourhood Plan Advisory Committee. Update then. Paragraphs in the report we did earlier. Basically, that said, we had a chat with the community advisor, done some basic additions. Obviously, we now have the new NPPF. We had a climate emergency meeting just the other night, last night, and John Holden on it. And so he said, well, what do you think of the NPPF and its impact on the Pendle local plan, whatever? And he went, oh, it's not going to be very good for us. So essentially what he's doing is he's comparing what the Pendle local plan was that we all got approved in December, and he's then comparing that with the new NPPF and saying we're going to have to change. So the biggest change will be the numbers. So these huge new targets basically going to build a town the size of our North in the next 20 years. You put it in that sort of context, another 7,000 hectares across 20 years. So it's a very hefty number. You can imagine greenfields are up to ground because what's viable around here, what's brownfield, etc. We all like it to be that. I think our current neighbourhood plan should be able to identify a few we see strategically as being good for the town as a whole. But obviously then got to think, well, what next? Until we start to break down their targets into the zone areas, then I'm not going to know quite what's going to face. I think as an aside, both Lancashire Bridge and Coleridge are considering doing it now, because we realise that they're buying small numbers. And Trawl's in the process of redoing their plan as well as their conservation at the same time. So, plenty of stuff to do. I think there's a meeting with the section. Do that. So I think it's going to be some fun really over the next few weeks and months. I think John Holton has already put out a consultation because he to have a look at. So there is a chance to give some feedback there on more individuals. The requirements. So, feedback.
Thank you. Is planning to provide an opportunity to comment on planning applications for the important environments since the last full council meeting. Oh, we've got extra.
Yes. That was the.
So the first one is application number 26/0489/HHO. This is an extension for comments to 20 August.
Two big numbers. No, it's more than 19th, yeah. It is on the 18th.
Yeah, it's till tomorrow. We always say till tomorrow so that we can actually say tomorrow.
I've got all of this. Two comments on it. See that there are gigantic French windows. Yeah. Keeping matter one anyway, so it's not such a problem really. You look at the top right, see where look just quite further right, see that window. Does that? That house is actually number 2. You see the bottom picture in the middle. So that's the door of number 2. You can on Google Maps and Street View. What the 2 have the north side, up wide front. No other windows on the front. No other windows down the side. I thought to myself, well, that presumably is a habitable room. What the Rugby rule requires to habitable rooms. That might come. That little overhang porch just there is where the big porch would go. So that's number 2. And any other cat, so put it right back. So if you look on the side, up it. Question. Does that reason 45 degrees?
I would say yes.
Myself.
You just put it back to the group where you have your respect. 2 seconds.
You see on the right hand side. Yeah, I'm just looking at the front corner, it probably hits the window in about the middle, so you're on the edge there. I think they do measure from the middle of the window. Maybe it's just exactly the right size.
How far does the porch stick out?
That's there on that right hand picture, isn't it? 1.6, 1.8,
That's the point. Does it say any looks like the other street lights and will there still be some?
they've got their drive to go to the next one. Number 4 still needs time.
Actually,
When you look at the photograph, it's only looking at the plan. But if you go back to the photograph and use imagination, can you imagine the force on the front of that building? It's keeping with the rest of that street.
If you look 3 doors down, you also see her.
But that's not in the middle, it's, yeah, I see what you mean, but.
And then if you look
Like
across
that driveway.
If you look across on the other side of the road, you'll see that house which is also got.
But the different force, it is more conservative on drawings as an extension. Those are like an extension of the porch,
If it was, when you're looking at this, it is a reasonably new build.
I'm gonna say. So, yeah, it is.
I think what we could actually put on there is a concern about the 45-degree rule, neighbouring plots. Yeah. Any other comments?
I think it'd probably win. Just to think about, if you go from the next door's window from the middle of it to the edge of the porch, at 45, it's equal both. So unless it sticks out longer than half the window, so on ground, that,
Might be just almost spot on.
yeah.
I think it's just a clarification.
Yeah. So, actually giving number 2 doesn't seem to have any other windows.
Yeah. We'll go to the next one, which is 26/05/05/FUL. Formation of 2 entrances, partial replacement of stone boundary wall, fencing and reduction in wall height. First, okay. Hey, people use
The rest of, to be able to build. Yeah.
We're looking at that then, they're taking it down where it chops off the door. Right, and then reducing the height. Down to the top. And then everything else is going to be steel. I'm just wondering, but is that 31 metres they're looking at doing?
Yeah, but it's what is.
So, so if we're looking there, then half that wall is going to take it off then.
There's no change. It says there to have two entrances, at the moment there's only one. And that's further round, so I presume they're using that, and I presume they use that, but that's quite close to Ag Street, and it's dangerous coming out of Ag Street. And at the moment, they've changed the priority and the road, so. Yeah,
You do a 360 just a slope line right.
That's the area.
the streets there.
Yeah.
It's very dangerous.
So it's where that low stone wall is now, where the cursor is, that's the one we're going to remove, put steel fence. But it looks like it's where this, you've got the track, the Cobble Street going away from us and using that as an entrance. Any comments? Councillor?
Thank you, Chair. On the left, there, that was part of the old gas room, very old wall. It looks really good, and to put another vehicle entrance is going to increase traffic on Green Road. This historically has been a major issue. In fact, when it's John Carlton Vehicle Operation Centre, they were told to reroute all vehicles away from Green Road. County said that it was not suitable. This has come up in the past, it's been refused, and you're basically destroying a very old wall just to replace it with modern metal railing. It's out of keeping with the area. It's completely out of keeping, and I don't think there's actually much funding for it.
I think if you look at, you say about the traffic, there's one in LCC comment that anyway. Councillor Ray?
Where you have an entrance, and you have so many wagons or vehicles going in at that entrance, that should more vehicles, there should be more vehicles to entrance. And the other entrance is on Green Road anyway, so it's not going to increase in
So, Councillor Alice?
That is the area. Yeah.
So, well then, the job,
There's obviously a mixed.
yeah. So if, what would the response be? Would it be a case of object due to the traffic and due to the how to keep it? If that's what your choice is, for your price, have you got it? Councillor Sarah?
Says, oh, she's come in the room, she's a terrifying Murloc heritage. I totally get what you're saying, Ian, I totally do. This is the things, it's not a conservation area, is it, Ian? So we can, as the town council, we can say, we should, we can say, this is that, part of our industrial heritage, it's an overlooked asset, it's not a heritage asset, but with the diminution and the loss of these features in the town, over time, will poorer, aren't they? And so I would say that we as the town council feel that strongly. We can't tell Cone Area, we can't tell them to turn it down on that. What we could do is perhaps request that these things are respected and retained. Could there be another way of doing it? I've just come from development management, and there was a site that was just taken up with an access road, turning ahead or something else. And there was another reason for deferral. But I said, while we're at it, just ask whether they considered this, which is a better solution. We can't insist, but we can ask it. It's always worth asking.
No houses are fixed at once due to scarce service level, loss of industrial historical heritage, even most of non-heritage site areas, not conservation area, not been keeping in the area, and obviously the traffic issue raised as well. Yeah, yes, Councillor.
I'm just reading also. Other councillors have said that those are diffused because of heavy traffic, or LCC said that heavy traffic weren't allowed to use that road. If this is going to be, we want to put that second entrance there where the cobbles are, that means they're going to be using heavy traffic. And if the route is already being unsuitable for HGV, that was another reason why I said no.
The thing is that the LCC that will forward, because LCC will have their.
But we can mention it in our.
That's what I'm saying, yeah, the traffic, yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Anybody else? No? Okay, so we'll move on to the next one then, which is number 3, which is 26/0509/ Page Old, which is Manor Road, on demolition of existing rear conservatory and the erection of a single story rear extension with a raised patio area. Comments? No comments? Okay. Yeah. And moving on then to number 4, which is 26/0540/FWL, which is Skipton Road, Col. Replacement of existing timber windows with aluminium windows.
Can I just ask Councillor Sarah, is this within heritage area?
No.
It's not.
No.
Thank you.
Confident in that, looking at David. Skipton Road.
It depends where the new conservation area goes to, where does it finish the road?
It finishes at the commercial.
It doesn't go over the road.
So there, it stops in the middle of the road, and that's on the left, so it's not in it.
No.
This is a private home. Looks like it. It just says 7 Skipton Road. Yeah. Replacement of existing timber windows with aluminium. There is a garden.
It's a bit odd, isn't it? Because it's permitted development, sure. It's permitted development to move from. If they want, is it not 7?
No, I think
Number 5 next door is Hewitt. It's the letting area. Number 7. It's got a number.
well,
Is that the one on the corner?
Yeah, that is the one.
So I'm a little mystified because obviously I would have not in a conservation area, change the material of the window. I sort of quite like to ask the question.
is it reflecting the elevation before and after?
That's just that one.
Yeah. the actual drawing, not saying. No, it's not showing that on the existing and proposed.
No, no, I'm looking at the top left background there, it looked like it was a mesh. Yeah. Top left, it looks like it's a mesh.
Yeah, mesh.
But it looks like it's taking all that, and putting all.
Can't see why it's money application. That's my question.
Unless it's a change of use from.
Well, that would be something else.
Yeah.
We would have to say that.
That's a change, it's a change of use.
Yeah.
That should change. So I think for us then it's not for that really. Anybody else got any other comments? No? Right, that's planning done with. Item 15, which is correspondence received, details of any correspondence that the full text has received that requires presenting or reviewing full text.
So there was couple items, one is a footpath diversion. So if anyone's got any objections or issues, let me know, so that fine. Everyone see.
I've only got two things to say on this one, Chairman. If you look at the different existing part and the proposed part, I don't think there can be any great objection to anyone who walks on, because it doesn't put us over the walking distance, it's much different than out of the room. So they haven't lengthened it and made it less convenient for everyone. But there actually isn't that much of it.
Partly, but
Well, most of it's in Barrowboy, there's only the bit to the right of the purple dotted line, is in gone.
yeah.
So it's basically, it's off.
Yeah, but if you think of it as a walking distance, I think there's very little difference between one and the other.
I think it's there, it's just getting, it's to remove walkers going on the property line.
Yeah.
So it's just noted.
It's just noted, yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't they do B to B, and then carry on the existing line? The A to B, just solve it for the garden. Then do the E to B instead. And then go to D. Well, there's an existing foot there, maybe a new foot, what we can do with the old foot there?
We can ask that question, of course. We can ask the question if we want to.
Yeah, I get what David said, you don't pick that or go to get out from you want.
Do you want this, do you want that as a reply?
We can ask the question.
As a reply, asking why they're not working.
Because the fact that's the cross, so that could be a point where you think that was good.
Yeah. You want to start?
One is notification of Lancashire Fire and Rescue Services. Due to risk management fund. Various just direct me to the website if you want to have a look.
As long as we don't forget about it. But October.
Yeah, it does say this is phase 2 of consultation. Yeah,
We've gone to, 5 o'clock on the night of October.
I don't know if everyone wants to.
The classic one. Police station.
the last item, is actually forwarded from, Council Sarah. Well, yeah, like that. Does you
Just something. It's just something to consider with our legal plan and so on, our local policy. These grants, get people on side, use plots plan. You know, we're always talking about little bits of say the South Valley that are big enough. But it's, you know, there are all kinds of things that we need to think about, and I just think, especially now when we're considering all about asset transfer and all of those things, just don't want to.
So this is basically a written the. I don't know if you want to consider it as part of, like the neighbourhood plan.
Could do.
And do it that way, and obviously anything that's recommended there would come before council.
Okay.
Anyway,
You want to do that?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
is everyone happy with that? Yeah.
Yeah, just, yeah.
That's the last item.
Always. Moving on to item 16, item for a future month's agenda. Points raised under this item are for information only. Any debate should be limited to 5 minutes. Points raised will be considered for inclusion as an agenda item. Councillor Ian.
Chair, what we've been asking just recently for the last few months, why we're no longer flying the English flag across the Thames Road in the town of Hull. Any reasons? The Union flag. The Union flag.
Union flag. It's not a union flag, but should be
We used to have the across the Thames Road.
It is a bit sad.
All that.
We haven't seen it across the Thames Road in the town for a long time.
Even though we didn't win the world.
It always, we don't think that those.
It's the union of the road.
It's in the union.
have employees by that body.
Oh, yeah.
You can come back next week and complain about that here.
Well, I'm saying after that, we played out, across the Thames Road, on the all of it.
Yes.
It's our flag, we should be proud of it. We couldn't hide.
But I didn't hear that. Sorry.
I said it's our national flag, we should be proud of it. Hiding. This is.
Same as the union flags.
No,
Same as the union flag.
yeah, but no, across the Thames Road is the English flag.
That's what you're trying to say.
And yeah, and that's important. It, you know, it is our national flag, and we should be flying up with pride, not hiding it.
Councillor Ryan?
And it's sad on one the other. It would be finally, each to be determined in what.
They're not, I was going to say AGI. What's the recommendation from?
I think always. So they.
Chairman, technically. But union, for a special occasion, we do not have permission to have it done all the time. If we want to fly a flag all the time, it has to be George's flag. Nobody's ever done anything about it, and don't, you know, it's trying to take us to court or whatever. The legislation says on a public building, you can only fly Union flag for a special occasion, such as Queen's Court, King as it is now, their birthday or something like that. Or you can fly it at half mast. So it's a funeral, but it should only be up there for certain birthdays and special occasions.
So, we can leave that with. All worse. So any other items? No? So, moving on to. 17. Date and time of the next regular meeting will be on Tuesday, the 22nd September at 6:30 p.m.
Can I just mention there, Chairman, that for everybody to take note that we have slipped that date back a week. It's not what you will probably put in your diaries originally. So if you have it in your diary, just make change.
Yes.
It's been slipped back a week.
Well, we sent an email, basically, the FPS would be the day after the bank holiday.
It was the 22nd.
Yeah.
22nd.
Yeah. So the FPS meeting, the events committee and the full council involved in.
So I'd like to give my heartfelt apologies. It's developed as, yeah, and I know it was deferred from tonight.